The summer season used to start officially in May, at the first weekend of May, but there was always both the April kind of pre-season where you'd get your Fast and the Furious, and then there was also the March season, which is Snydertown. Once upon a time, Zack Snyder made a killing accidentally in March with 300, and then they kept dropping all these Zack Snyder movies in March. Remember what would happen was they would announce a Marvel flick to be the last week of April, and then be like, surprise, it's going to be the week before that. And we would be like, they're not dropping anything.
That only happened the last 2 years before the pandemic, didn't it?
Yeah, but it did happen more than once, didn't it?
Yeah, but it was not a normal thing before 2018 or something like that.
No, it was Feige being like, I'm pretty sure we can make a lot more money if we just drop this a little early because there ain't nothing coming out.
Right.
So, that's interesting. Hi, film friend. What a weird summer box office so far. We've had the beginnings of it, the first few movies that people in at least this town thought were going to hit, and they've all been kind of underperforming. We wanted to catch this today because Furiosa just came out. Bones and I both worked Mad Max Fury Road, and it was a slam dunk at the movie theater. Furiosa, with Anna Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth, just came out and is doing meh. And apparently it's doing meh internationally, which kind of surprises me. Another reason I posit, I would love for you to comment in the YouTube comment section. Did Furiosa sort of underperform because we've already had a giant sandy epic called Dune Part 2? Are we used to weird-looking creatures in a post-apocalyptic, barren, sandy future? We already did it this year, no? I don't know. I'll still see Furiosa. Hopefully, it'll be sort of hopeful. Although, it is a prequel to Fury Road, so we'll see. Also, Mad Max Fury Road, it came out of nowhere, and people were ready for it. But it did drop around this time, I believe. Around May-ish. Right now, the only thing that's really hitting is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and really, that's because of international. If you want to make money in China, make a movie about Monkey Kings. Chinese audiences love Monkey King stories. It may be the fourth in the series, but there's more Monkey Kings than ever before in this franchise. In fact, it's the beginning of the Monkey Kingdom. Makes me want to see it. Sure. Let us, you, film friend, and me, and Bones over here, pretend in our imaginations that we own our own four-house cinema. And it's called Film Journ Cinemas. Everything we ever wanted it to be. This four-house is going to be playing all of the studio first-run films and whatever fine capital I indie fare that we can get. It is a separate video that we will do this capital I versus lowercase I indie situation. Independent films made in Hollywood. Sometimes it's called Indiewood. I call it capital I. As opposed to genuine fringe independent filmmakers all over the world, of which I was one in Chicago. I am one here. Boy, I'll say. Welcome to Film Journ... Oh, wait. I was going to welcome everybody, but I don't have my hat on. You guys ready? Welcome to Film Journ Cinemas. What do we have playing today? Well, so far, if we had our four-house... Bones is smiling like a dope. It's so funny. But you know what? You can't see her. I made her one of these too. I'm pretty pleased with them. This weekend, we would have been opening, as we talked about before, Furiosa. We also would have been opening Garfield, Chris Pratt and Sam Jackson in a new animated Garfield film.
Oh, wow.
On paper, this sounds awful, but you and I both know this movie would have swept in our neighborhood. This is exactly the movie that families are looking to see. This is exactly the movie that stays for weeks while big families come and buy popcorn and go see Garfield because it's 90 minutes of harmless kid movie. And that's what they're really trying to hit right now. It's May, so they're doing kids movies. We're going to see a lot of kids movies coming up. What we're going to do is Bones and I are going to go through the summer schedule just like we would have back when we ran the movie show. We went through and picked movies based on what we thought would do well and what wouldn't. So we're going to go through the schedule, pick the movies that we would put in our hypothetical theater for when we get our real film during theater. The other movies that we would have had already in-house would be Fall Guy, which is already for sale on digital. It did not perform the way they wanted it. If a movie does well in the theater, the window is huge, right? It takes a long time to get access to Dune, too. It was released March 1st. I don't know when it went for sale, because what they do is the in-theater thing on Prime, so it's $25 to buy, $20 to rent. And then it just went for free on streaming on Max this past week or so. Fall Guy was released in theaters May 3rd. The window was about 2 weeks. And apparently the movie's great. Big stunts, big stars, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. A big director. He did Bullet Train, and I think he did Deadpool. So people were really, really expecting it to kill. Really was supposed to kick off the summer, and it whelmed. It didn't do well. The next weekend was John Krasinski's If, which...
I've never even heard of that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, it's written and directed by him. It's a kid's movie. It's starring Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the voice of Steve Carell, Lou Gossett Jr. in his final role, Bobby Moynihan, a bunch of people. Yeah, I don't know what their advertising situation was, but it'll kill on streaming. I should find that James Gray interview.
I think the theatrical is essential. If you look at the streaming movies that do the best, they are the movies that come out in theaters first. So that should tell you something.
At some point, people will find this John Krasinski movie and be like, John Krasinski made a kids movie with Steve Carell and Ryan Reynolds? Oh, wow. Maybe get ready for Christmas. Seems like a good Christmas drop. That being said, I'm sure whatever deal they make, it'll be for streaming pretty shortly as these windows close and close. And then this week was Furiosa and Garfield. Garfield, I think, did and Furiosa did A lot of stuff that's in the theater right now is already available for stream.
That's wild.
When we started this job, the windows were getting smaller, but it was still 2 months or so. The day is May 31st. There's a bunch of little movies coming out according to IMDb. Would we put the movie Ezra? Comedian Max co-parents autistic son Ezra with ex-wife Jenna. Faced with crucial decisions about Ezra's future, Max and Ezra go on a life-changing cross-country road trip starring Robert De Niro and Bobby Cannavale, Whoopi Goldberg, directed by Tony Goldwyn, Vera Farmiga. I'm not saying any of these names right. Farmiga. The fact of the matter is, we would have forfeit May 31st to get both Furiosa and Garfield in the same weekend. That's one of the reasons probably why nothing's really coming out. Also,
usually people have picnics, fireworks and stuff.
And let me tell you, there's no place further from windows than a movie theater. Okay, so the next week is January 7th, it looks like. Oh, I think it's easy. Bad Boys Ride or Die. Bad Boys 4, Will Smith. And
what?
Also Martin Lawrence and the directors of Bad Boys 3.
Against what?
A horror movie called The Watchers, PG-13. If someone's trying to clear their name and trying to get the audience back, that is a flagship franchise for the man. He's one step away from doing Men in Black 8. 5? 5. It would be Men in Black 5. You know what? I'm not against it. Don't leave that in the video. I bleep that out. June 14th, Inside Out 2. Pixar. You have to do that. Probably 2 theaters, right?
Yeah.
Hour 40 plus a short plus trailers. It's about 2-hour show. There's some other things coming out, but nothing really. Now, June 21st is an interesting weekend. We have 2 indie films and a Russell Crowe horror film called The Exorcism. Now, I know what I think Bones wants here, because we're lucky enough to have gone to the live How Did This Get Made show where we talked about the Pope's exorcism starring Russell Crowe. So Russell Crowe has apparently started doing exorcism horror films, and that's enough of a draw for me.
Is it in the franchise?
It's not. He plays a guy named Anthony Miller.
The guy that his character is based on in Pope's Exorcist has almost as many books as the Warrens. They're probably trying to build that out as a franchise.
A troubled actor begins to exhibit disruptive behavior while shooting a horror film. His estranged daughter wonders if he's slipping back into his past addictions or if there's something more sinister at play.
Is it in the Sinister franchise?
No. It's up against a movie called The Bike Riders and Kinds of Kindness. Here's the thing, Ms. Bones. Kinds of Kindness just won Best Actor at Cannes. Jesse Plemons. He just won either yesterday or today. It is starring Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, the director of Poor Things. So it's their big follow-up to the big Oscar-winning Poor Things is Kinds of Kindness. So you're probably going to want to get that, even though we really want to get The Exorcism. We'll figure out a way to maybe get both. So I would say that. I know people want to see Bike Riders. The Bike Riders was going to come out last year, and then the actors' strike happened. They are not intending to sell this movie without the actors, and it's like Austin Butler and some really fabulous actors in there. Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon. It's like really good 1950s bike rider outsiders kind of film, but it's all indie and stuff. I'll watch it, but not against Kinds of Kindness, because I think people are going to want to see that more. There's a cute movie called Thelma as well, starring June Squibb. It seems cute, but also another one for the stream. June 28th, we do have a choice. A Quiet Place Day 1. They made a prequel.
Is he in it?
Let's see. It's not directed by him. Lupita's in it. We love Lupita. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's Lupita. Quiet Place has the distinction of being the first or second movie of having to be pushed because of COVID. That second one. There's a movie called Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1. And it's the new big epic Western by Kevin Costner that got a big standing ovation at Cannes. A two-parter that he's dropping in the theater 3 months apart from each other or something like that. So he's trying to do a thing. The man's doing a thing. I don't know if the movie's going to be any good. And then if you get the first one, maybe you got to get the second one. And if the first one bombs, are you going to get the second one? If you don't get the first one, are you going to get the second one? Doesn't matter. Oh God, you get the first one. Probably better than A Quiet Place, but what do you think would even do better? In our theater, people were always like, can we get some movies for grown-ups with themes that are interesting for people over the age of 20?
We had a lot of retirement homes and
vet services.
Yeah.
I might argue for both. It's 2 weekends. There's 4 movies. The Exorcism, Kinds of Kindness, Quiet Place, and Kevin Costner.
Then we'd have to drop Exorcism.
Just giving you a little insight. This is the decision process of an independent movie theater picking their movies for the season. July 3rd, July 4th weekend. There's 2 choices. One of them we absolutely need to get. The other one, it would be good if we could. Despicable Me 4. You think it's run its course, but I'm telling you it's not. It's the same thing as Garfield, man. The flagship Despicable Me 4 with Steve Carell, with everybody. I think Kristen Wiig's in it now. Let's see who the bad guy is. It's Will Ferrell and Sofia Vergara. Forget about it. Forget about it. And they always do well. The Minions spin-offs did great. That's why they keep making these movies. They kill overseas, but they kill here. People just really like it. Especially for July 3rd. Families. It'll pack the house.
4th of July is a little confusing in the neighborhood, though, because the fireworks are at night. So people don't come to the movie because they're going to the fireworks. They go to barbecues and they drink and stuff like that. Unless it rains, it's not necessarily a day that's particularly busy.
We didn't have parking, so that means that you gotta walk to the theater.
If you are a movie theater and you have parking, then people will go there when weather is bad.
Right.
But if you're a movie theater that does not have parking, people will not want to walk in the rain or the extreme heat or the extreme cold to get to you.
Or extreme society.
Right.
The other movie that comes out is Maxine, the 3rd installment of the X trilogy. It's A24 and it's their July 4th horror drop. I think it's going to attract stuff. Mia Goth is really hot. It's going to be a hot flick.
It's supposed to be a trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah. Halsey is in it. Giancarlo Esposito, Kevin Bacon. Like, it's a really good cast, so I would aim for it. So now we have to choose between Quiet Place, Kevin Costner, Despicable Me, and Maxine. I have no idea.
Well, what movie would we have had to keep? Could we have gotten rid of all of it so we could get new ones?
I think the most important thing is Despicable Me, and then maybe Maxine. What do you think would do better, Maxine or Quiet Place? That's the thing, is they're both horror. They might cannibalize itself.
Third installment, aren't they?
Technically, yeah. So maybe I'd drop Quiet Place, because Quiet Place prequel, I really like Lupita and want her movies to do well, but I see myself watching that on streaming anyway. So yeah, that and Maxine, but not The Convert. The 12th is kind of open, so maybe we could if we didn't get anything on the 12th. Fly Me to the Moon is Scarlett Johansson romantic comedy. We haven't had a romantic comedy all season. It's PG-13. It's set in the past. Like a period thing. Maybe that. And then there is this movie called Longlegs, which is a horror film. In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. And it's Nicolas Cage.
No.
No! All
No,
right.
we're already bogged down with movies that we can't get rid of.
You're right. Scarlett Johansson in a romantic comedy is exactly what we need in the middle of the season. It's the one where the ladies come for 2 for $5 champagne on Sundays and all the girlfriends come. That would be good. This is a pretty, I'll say it's not a very multicultural looking season so far. It's feeling a little pasty. The Choices, the new Beverly Hills Cop that's coming out, and that has Eddie Murphy in it. I think that's a July 4th drop, but that's going to be straight to Netflix, and it doesn't even seem like it's on this list here, which is the IMDb coming soon list. The stuff that's coming to theaters anyway. July 19th, though. You ready? Twisters.
Oh, boy.
Glenn Powell. Daisy Edgar Jones. I'll see it. There's going to be Flying Cows Abound.
Okay.
July 26th is Deadpool and Wolverine. It is the biggest tidal wave. It's the biggest tentpole of the year, as far as I'm concerned. This is what everyone is waiting for. This is what theaters are hoping to save theaters. Apparently, the pre-sales are already fucking crazy. You got to put that in as many theaters as you can, and then that's going to be rolling through August. Now we're starting August. There's some kids' movies. Harold and the Purple Crayon they made. The Hunter Schafer Cuckoo movie. A 17-year-old girl is forced to move with her family to a resort where things are not what they seem. So many horror thrillers. And then a movie called Sing Sing. Oh, with Coleman Domingo. I gotta tell you, Coleman Domingo is one of my very favorite actors of all time. I'm not just saying that. I've loved him since Passing Strange, since I first saw Passing Strange like 10 years ago. He's just amazing, and then to watch him tear it up, I'd be very happy to show this movie. Divine G, imprisoned at Sing Sing for a crime he didn't commit, finds purpose by acting in a theater group alongside other incarcerated men in the story of resilience and the transformative power of art. I think it would do very well at our theater. It's also a movie I think I would like. And again, Coleman Domingo's fucking great.
Yeah, as long as it was advertised well.
Right. It's around first week of August that we would get movies for black audiences, like the Tupac flick, and the NWA movie was around that time too. I don't know what the story is, but we have been going through these movies and there are just no black movies, barely. It's kind of wild. Maybe I'm missing stuff. I'm hoping I'm missing stuff, because I know that sometimes this would happen at the theater and people would be like, what the fuck is going on? We're trying to show movies that people want to watch, man. If isn't cutting it. August 9th. Borderlands. Seem nonplussed.
Is it painted by hand?
I hope so. It's Eli Roth, Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Jamie Lee Curtis. They're hoping to make a lot of it. The trailer is very, very Guardians of the Galaxy. August 16th, the new Alien movie. It's called Alien Romulus, and guess what it's against? Kevin Costner Part 2.
Uh-oh.
So I think we might have to just drop Kevin Costner altogether.
Oh.
Makes things hard, but you gotta get the new Alien flick. It's
That's
a proper
true.
Alien movie.
There we go.
Fede Alvarez. That's August 16th. August 23rd, The Crow. The reboot of The Crow with, what's his face? It the Clown? Bill Skarsgård. That is what the summer season at the Film Journey Cinema would look like. I gotta put my other hat on. You ready? Achoo! Most of our analysis is taken care of. Beyond the summer, I did want to mention a couple of titles that I think will do very well, but they're kind of few and far between. October 4th, Joker 2, Foi du Roi, whatever it's called. There is Terrifier 3 coming out, which will do indie numbers. There's another Venom movie, which will be whatever. Gladiator 2.
Russell Crowe?
No, he's not in it, but it is Ridley Scott and Paul Mescal and Denzel
Wait,
Washington. Wicked. Moana 2, Lord of the Rings cartoon. soon a new Sonic the Hedgehog. And then Robert Eggers' Nosferatu on Christmas. What I will say is these are what the studios have to offer right now. This is what the schedule looks like right now.
There will be more.
Festivals are happening. Cannes just happened. Venice is to happen. Toronto is to happen. Sundance has to happen. That's where the streamers will buy stuff. That's where studios will buy stuff, and the season will fill out. There will be actors and filmmakers to draw audiences into the theaters and hopefully add a little bit of color or something to what we just listed, because that was a pretty sad looking year. It's no wonder that the season is really underperforming right now, and that I can see theater owners across the country holding their breath until Deadpool. We used to just hold our breath until then. The Pixar flick, that usually did really well. If it's a good movie, it'll kill. If it's not very good, who cares? Everyone will end up watching it on Disney+. That is all we have to say about that. Please tell us what you think. What movies are you looking forward to? What did we miss? Were we way off on this one? Thanks for watching the last video. That was super cool. And how do we end these things? Like it, and then comment it, and then share it.
And subscribe.
And subscribe?
And comment.
But you also comment
And
subscribe and like and subscribe it. Thanks, guys. See you in the future.